Hello YouTube, and welcome to your ninth Microsoft Visual C++ 2010 Express tutorial. And in this tutorial we're going to be beginning loops. Now if you haven't guessed by the title of my project, we're going to be learning about a for loop. So I went ahead and created a new project like always, added a C++ file to the source file, and I did everything that we do before we start our program. So now we're going to go ahead and do the loop. So basically what a loop is, if you don't already know, and C++ is your first language, a loop is pretty much, let's say you have, let's say you want a loop called my day. Now you don't name the loop, but let's just say that's your loop right there. Your loop is my day. Let's say brush teeth, brush teeth, eat, and sleep. Let's say that's your day. So basically, here's your loop, and inside your loop, you're gonna brush your teeth, eat, and sleep. And then, since that's the end of the day, you're gonna start your day over again, and it goes back to the top, and you just go through all those instructions again. So that's basically the main idea behind a loop. And there are a bunch of different loops that you can use depending on which problem you need to solve, and I'll be teaching you guys those in later tutorials. So let's go ahead and start our for loop. So we're going to declare a variable, and we're going to name it x, and don't forget your semicolon, you always need that. So int x, and now we're going to start our for loop just by typing for, and then we'll do parentheses and curly braces. So inside of our parentheses, we're gonna what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna tell the computer, do this loop if whatever's inside our parentheses is true. Might sound a little confusing. So we're gonna go ahead and set x equals 0. X is less than 11. And then x plus plus. So that might be a little confusing, but let me explain it. So basically what we did is we created our for loop, and we set the variable x equal to 0 because it doesn't have a value to start off with. And you can see we declared it up there, but another way that you can do inside of our for loop is you can declare the variable inside the for loop just by typing int x equals 0. That's an easier way to do it. So we created a variable called x, and we set it equal to 0. And then over here it says x is less than 11. Basically what this does is it says, go through this loop. Let's say it'll go through the loop at least once, and well, as long as you have this, as long as the value is right. Never mind, just scratch what I just said. It's not going to go through it at least once if you did something wrong. Let's say you said x is less than -1 or something. It won't go through the loop. But it's going to go through the loop, and when it comes back up to the top, it'll check if x is less than 11. Then it's going to go through the loop again and do everything inside of it again. And x plus plus, what that does, if you hadn't seen one of my earlier tutorials about math, that just basically adds 1 to x. And the reason we do this is because when it comes back up to the top of the loop, we don't want it. If we don't put x plus plus, then x is going to equal 0, and it's always going to equal 0, and it's never going to be changing, and we're going to create an infinite loop, and infinite loops are bad. So we're just going to add 1 to x each time, and so basically what this does is it's going to go through the loop 10 times because it's x is less than 11, and whenever you use less than, it's not going to be 11. It's not going to end on 11. It's going to, because 11 is greater than, well, since 11 is equal to 11, then it's not less than, so it's going to do 1 less than what we set, unless we use less than or equal to, like that. But we're just going to use less than for now. So now that I've been talking for a while, you guys are probably bored saying, write the code, write the code. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to come down here and see out some stuff on the screen so you can see what's going on. So cout the variable x is equal to x, and then end line. So this tutorial's pretty long, so I'm gonna run the code. I'm gonna run the program, and I probably won't come back and explain it one more time. So I'll just run through it right now real quick. So we created the variable x equals 0, blah blah blah. You know that. We want to do the loop as long as x is less than 11, and then add 1 to x each time we go through. And then it says cout the variable x is equal to x. So here we go. It says the variable x is equal to 0, the variable x is equal to 1, and it goes all the way to 10 because 10 is less than 11. And then it says, oh, x is equal to 11, and 11 is equal to 11. It's not less than that. So go ahead and end the loop here. So this may be confusing, but go ahead, try this out, make a couple programs yourself. Really need to stress that a lot, because when you make a bunch yourself and you get used to the code, then you remember it. I've noticed when I first started learning, I would just watch tutorial. I'd watch like tutorial 1, tutorial 2, and just straight on with each other. And then when I was done, I would forget everything from like tutorial 3 or something, and I'd have to go back. So really go and practice this code until it's stuck in your head, and then move on to the next tutorial. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe.